So John would go to him and whatever, and he'd examine John or whatever, because John couldn't go out of his cell, so they had to bring this. They had to bring the PA to him, which was not a PA. He was just trained in first aid, and this PA was giving him Tylenol, and this went on Tylenol, Tylenol, Tylenol. Then it got so bad that they had to take him out and, do an MRI, do an X-ray, CAT scan, see what's going on here. So they found out at that point in time that he had squamous cell. Now, squamous cell is cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So, time goes by. His condition was worsening. They realized they could not take care of him in Marion because Marion did not have a hospital attached to it at the time. And they were just covering their ass. And at this point in time, we had that concierge warden involved that I spoke about by the name of Bill William Hedrick. So what had happened was the government was very concerned now. They knew he was sick. They didn't know how sick.
Mm-hmm.
So they fast forward. We're all fast forwarding because obviously I have to condense this story.
Mm-hmm.
And they ship him out to the federal prison in Springfield, Missouri,
Right.
where, many wise guys are taken to, many regular people are taken to. In his area of incarceration, if you were sick, you went to Springfield. So he goes to Springfield, and they discover he has head, neck, and throat cancer. Stage 3.
Wow.
Right.
The death sentence.
Right. Death sentence. Still giving him Tylenol. So I'm talking to this Bill Hedrick. I'm talking to John every couple of days, and I could tell he's sick. I could hear the way he's talking to me. Now they take him out, and they're giving him all kinds of tests, and it's confirmed head, neck, and throat cancer, squamous cell. There's no cure for squamous cell. It's a deadly disease, deadly cancerous disease. So they decide after, Vicky was involved. His daughter is very, very smart when it comes to medicine because she had her own medical issues. And Vicky was very in the loop. And thank God, because she knows the whole medical situation. And between Vicky and myself, we're doing everything we could. And Vicky's has a big mouth, and this Hedrick wasn't going to mess with her because Hedrick, Vicky would tell him, listen, go fuck yourself. I know my father's sick.
Right, good for her.
Vicky didn't take no shit.
Mm-hmm.
And we got them to give him radiation. Now, you know what radiation is, and I'm sure
Yes.
your viewers know what radiation.
Yes.
That's when they spot the disease and they put the radiation on it.
Yep.
So they did such a good job, Joe, that they burnt the side of his face because they gave him too much radiation. The guy that was running the machine he wasn't a radiation tech. He could have been the janitor for all we know. They burnt the side of his face, but burnt it. Third degree burns. Burnt it.
That's a radiation burn.
Correct.
Yep. Wow.
So Vicky was going to see him continuously with young Peter, his son, great kid. And I have no beef with Vicky. I love Peter to death till this day. Never. I wish my kids are as devoted to me as Peter was to his father.
Wow.
And I have to say Vicky too. Although Vicky was transactional in a lot of ways, but Vicky loved her father. And we knew at this point how sick he was. They removed half of his tongue. They removed half of his tongue. He was sick. He was so sick. And he was getting no care in there. The nurses, although they're educated and registered nurses, they were being controlled by Warden Hedrick. Again, John had a personal warden from the date of his incarceration to the date of his death.
Wow.
About 8, 9 years, 10 years. Same warden. You talk to anybody, they'll tell you it's unheard of.
Yeah, I never heard of it either.
You go from institution to institution. Every institution has their own warden.
Right.
not John Gotti. We had a private warden. So,
They really hated him that much.
well, they wanted to kill him
Yeah.
because they had such a hate for him because he was so successful as a boss.
Yeah.
You remember, everybody. This guy was killing John. That guy was killing John. Bobby, the guy that they just released on compassionate release at 95, Bobby Mann or whatever his name is. He was
Mm.
killing John. Nobody killed John. Cancer killed John. The U.S.
Yeah.
government killed John. No wise guys killed John. If they wanted to kill John, John didn't hide. John was out. You knew John. John's routine was an open book.
A lot of guys feared him, though. Really, come on.
They
Let's face it.
feared. Listen, if you were a wise guy, you put 2 feet in one shoe, as the expression goes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, you
I've
weren't
heard that.
messing with John Gotti. He'd eat you up and spit you out in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Joe Messina, the Persicos, Gigante, all these guys. Where were they?
Yeah.
John was. You knew where John was. You knew what restaurant. John didn't deviate.
Hey, he was
John
always
did.
at the club.
And if he wasn't at the club, he was home. If he wasn't home, he was with me at my house. If we were in the Hamptons. We were in Florida. There was no secrets where John Gotti was.
And the government knew too.
The government knew too. They put a bomb in the car. It's unfortunately Frankie DeChico. It
Yeah.
hit him. You know, that was amateur city
Yeah.
because they didn't know. They
Right.
didn't know. John basically controlled probably 4 of the families, plus Pennsylvania, plus Boston, plus Philly, plus Florida, plus Rhode Island.
You see, a lot of people don't realize when you say that statement like that, every family has a boss. Obviously, the viewers know this, but because of John's status, the way he was, the his whole life, like you said, he had a great relationship with Joe Messina. They were good friends. You said, right?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
all the other families. I mean, listen, let's face it. He was the man. Even though they all say they all want to come up with that saying, "Oh, he did this. He was wrong about this. He was wrong
That's
about that."
bullshit.
No,
He
it's a lie.
was the mafia of that era.
Hmm.
Okay. We had guys calling him from Chicago, from Vegas, reaching out. Hey, chief. Hey, boss. In fact, Junior used to refer to him as the chief. And Mikey Scars used to say, John, you can't go to meetings with other bosses and refer to him as the chief. John Jr. didn't care. He's the chief. And you know what? I agree with John Jr. on that score.
Hmm.
Families across the country reached out to him.
Wow.
You know,
Wow.
as they say, he was the man.
Well, that's why I think they referred to him as the last of the Mohicans. I think John Jr. said that a lot about his father.
Well,
He was really the last.
Vicky, his daughter,
Mm.
she always said that. That was her
Oh,
expression,
okay.
not
Okay.
Junior's expression. He was the last of the Mohegans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for clearing that up. Yeah.
Listen, he was a mob boss. He was a tough guy. If you were in the life and you did wrong, you were getting killed. Okay.
Yeah.
Or you were getting chopped up, or you were going on a boat ride. But innocents didn't get killed. You know, if you were in the life and you fucked up,
Yeah.
you know,
When
that's just the way it was. But when I do the look back, the families from the whole USA used to reach out to this guy.
wow, that's something.
Yeah. You know why? Because he was a man's man, and they knew if this guy took out a boss.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yes. That
No.
was
Tell me in
yeah.
the history of the modern mafia did what John did, succeeded what John did, and then came on the scene to run the biggest organized crime family in the country.
Yeah. Not in the modern days.
Plus
You're right.
others. So you know what? Junior was right. He earned the name chief because he was the chief.
Yeah.
He was the chief. I mean, I saw it. I saw it wherever we went.
Yeah.
Wherever we went.
People
we
couldn't
went.
wait to be around him.
There was a restaurant, and I think it was in New Hyde Park, or it was called Stella's. A lot of you listeners will know it.
Hmm.
In Queens, in Astoria, in that area. And it was owned by a lady by the name of Elsie. Sirota, Cirilli, and her boss, her boyfriend was this guy Tommy, who was in the construction. You might know his last name.
Hmm.
There was a whole thing. He was supposed to be with the Gambinos, and then he was with I think it was the Colombos. I'm not sure. I'm
It
sure
sounds
Junior,
familiar though.
yeah, Junior will correct me. I'm sure in one of the comments through someone else, through Angel or somebody.